Hey guys, I look a little busted today, but it's okay. I just wanted to share. This week I've been reading the book of Esther. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So I've been reading the book of Esther, and in chapter 4, I saw something really really cool, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I may have to cut this short and send you another video, but this is essentially what I found. So in chapter 4, Esther agrees to help the Jews, and I don't know if you guys have read the book of Esther or not, but I'm just gonna give you back the story, just in case, you know. Okay, so basically, in the book of Esther, we are at the part where Persia is like manhandling everybody, right? Like in the sense of they are like ruling everything, right? And the king of Persia is having this huge party, and his wife is like, all right, okay, yeah. So the king is having this huge party, and he wants to show off his wife, who's like super super beautiful, right? Queen Vashti. And she's all like, so he goes and he's like, hey, go fetch my wife so these people can see how pretty she is, right? And when they call on her, she's like, nah, like I'm good. I'm gonna stay where I am. They don't tell the reason why she does that, like why she doesn't come at the call of the king, but everybody assumes it's because of pride. So if we're going based off the assumption of pride, like she's like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm not like a toy. Like keep it pushing, right? Which is really crazy and really weird because like you're a whole queen, like people follow your example, and like your whole duty outside of being queen. Like she let her power go to her mind, and forgot that the king was still above her, which is like something else to think about, like when we think of like God and like our relationship with God, when we start to put ourselves in front of God, like the things that we want, the desires that we want in front of God. But that's not why I'm here, and I'm like already making this way too long. But essentially he kicks her out. Like basically they get a divorce, and he looks for another queen. In comes Esther, right? Esther, she gets chosen out of like this long line of women. It becomes like basically the bachelor, yeah. And Esther gets chosen, right? So yay. But the thing is, there's like some beef already going on with like the Jews and the Persians. So like they're like, so like her uncle is like, nah, fam, don't tell them that like you're a Jew. Like your name is Esther. Her original name was Hadassah, but your name is Esther right now. Like that's your identity. Stick to it. Like you can do it, you know. So yeah, she gets chosen. He doesn't know that she's a Jew, and some beef stirs up with Haman, which is like the king's second in command, right? And Esther's uncle, who's Mordecai, for a future reference, right? And yeah, basically Mordecai does not treat Haman like a king, you know, because like Haman is allowing the power that he has go to his head, right? So he's like super salty when Mordecai doesn't give him that respect of a king, because Mordecai's like, bro, I don't bow down to anybody but my king. Like relax, get out of my face, right? So Haman, salty as heck because of this, is like, I'm not just gonna get Mordecai, I'm gonna get his whole clan, aka the Jews, right? So he's like, yeah, I hate the Jews down. Mordecai, you suck. We're gonna kill them all. So for 5 years, this man plans. He just schemes and plans to like kill off all the Jews, right? And he's trying to come up with a way to like go to the king about this. Like, how can I go to the king in a way that is suitable enough for him to agree for me to kill all the Jews off, right? Because of Mordecai, right? So this man is super salty, like he's doing way too much, right? And then in steps Esther. By this point, Esther's already married to the king. And by this point, Haman has already like gotten the king's approval to like kill off the Jews, essentially. Like, by like scheming and lying and basically saying like the Jews are not following the king's commands, like they aren't great. We might as well just off them while we can, you know. The king agrees, and then like a huge like city official like goes out. So like a note basically goes out to everybody that is ruled over by the king of Persia, right? That like we gonna kill the Jews on October 30th. Like y'all better be prepared. Like it is what it is. Get over it, right? And everybody's super confused and everybody's like mourning and stuff. So this is where we are. This is where we are by this point in the book, right? And so we're like vibing and stuff, and then Queen Esther finds out, because she finds out that her uncle Mordecai, right? He is like chilling in the king's gate, which is like the entrance, I guess, to like see the king. And he's in like sackcloth and ashes, which we all know is like their version of like immense mourning, right? And he's doing that in a way to like try and like see the king if possible, but because of like how he's clothed, he cannot. But that's like his way of like grieving, like that's his way of like trying to show the king like we grieve, like we like please take pity on us, right? And so all this to say, basically, so in Esther chapter 4, it literally says Esther agrees to help the Jews. And what I thought was really, really cool about this, really interesting about this, was essentially the fact that like it reminded me of the Bible verse where it's like, we have to die to our flesh daily, right? And then this is why it reminded me. So I'm gonna read the Bible verse and then I'm gonna like explain why I thought this was really, really cool. Okay, so I really feel like I should just read the whole chapter, but that's long, and this story is already long. Okay, this video is just the back chapter, the background, like the background info of what's going on, and then I'm going to give you another video. So this is time part 2, right? I'm sorry I look crusty again. Keep it pushing. So we're in chapter 4, right? And basically this is again where like Mordecai is like at the king's gate in sackcloth and ashes, and he's mourning, and he's trying to get the king to see like, we're sorry, like please have mercy on us, like please like speak to me at least, because Mordecai was like in with like I believe the scribes at this time, so he was like in the loop, but like not like in the loop, so Esther finds out that her uncle is literally in like he's like mourning, like not dressed properly at the king's gate, and she's like, what the heck? By this point she doesn't know what's going on fully, so she's like, what the heck, like go give my uncle clothes, like why is he doing that, right? And remember, like Mordecai couldn't get into the palace because he wasn't dressed correctly, obviously, so like everybody was basically ignoring him, but he was able to get the information about the mourning of like the Jews past because of Esther, right? Because she heard that he was like not dressed properly, like mourning in the streets, Esther's servant goes to give him clothes. He is like, oh, thank goodness, like let me tell you what's going on, tell Esther what's going on. So he tells her like, hey, like the Jews are about to be killed, like Haman offered so much money to like the king if he was able to kill us, like if basically like the plunder of the Jews, like the money that he would get from plundering the Jews or killing the Jews, like he would give that to the king. And so that's what made it like interesting to the king, also because like the king was like mad serious about like respecting him and like following his authority, which we see in chapter 1 with like Queen Vashti. But yeah, so he tells the servant like, hey, like tell Esther like she needs to do something about this, like who knows, maybe the reason why she's even here is because of this moment, like she won't even be able to like ignore this if she wanted to, because like even if she tried to save herself, like she wouldn't be able to live with herself, because she would survive it, like she would view it, like she would see like the killing of everybody, and if she saw like the killing of everybody and she let it go like without saying anything, then like that's like a whole like death on her father's house, and like basically shame essentially. And Esther hears what Mordecai has to say through the servant, obviously, and she goes back and she's like, well, like I don't know if I can do that, like it's illegal for me to go to the king without him summoning me. It's already been 30 days. Mind you, they're married. Like the honeymoon phase is over. Like he hasn't talked to her in 30 days. So like her doubt for like whether the king loves her is already like waning. So he sends back a correspondent from the servant, he's like, this is when he says like, well, like you don't know, like maybe this is like why God placed you in this moment, maybe this is why you're here. Don't be silent about this, because someone else could be raised up to help and save the Jews, or someone will be raised up to help the Jews if it's not you, but again there will be shame on you, and so on and so forth, right? And so Esther agrees, and this is where I want to read. And I'm sorry that this video is super long, but I really wanted to share this, and I thought it was really, really cool. Okay, yeah, so this is basically Mordecai's reply to Esther. And then I'll go into Esther's response. So this is basically the end of chapter 4. Then Mordecai told them to reply to Esther, Do not think to yourself in the king's palace you will escape any more than all the other Jews. For if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise from the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Then Esther told them to reply to Mordecai, Go gather all the Jews to be found in Susa, and hold a fast on my behalf, and do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. And I and my young woman will also fast as you do. Then I will go to the king, though it is against the law, and I will perish. And if I perish, I perish. Mordecai then went away and did everything as Esther had ordered him, right? So that was Esther 4:13 through 17, right? And like, my takeaway was like really, really interesting and really cool, because like, it's like, you know how like there's a Bible verse, I'm gonna look it up and like put it in the comments, but like, you know how there's a Bible verse that says like we have to die to ourselves daily, like we have to renew our minds and our bodies and like die to ourselves daily. I'm pretty sure I'm like combining two, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And I thought this was really, really cool, because this, like, in this moment, it felt like Esther really had to choose to die to herself, you know, to save the Jews. And then it's both literal and like spiritually, I guess, because like of the fast, obviously, but also just because of like her choice, because she does at the end decide to save the Jews, right, and go before the king without his permission, right. But yeah, it made me think of like the fact that like God calls us and asks us, I don't know, you get what I'm trying to say. He asks us to die to ourselves daily, not just for ourselves and for God, but for the people around us, for like other people, because like when we do die to ourselves, and when we do like give up our flesh to live in a way that is like Christ-like and Christ-centered, like the people around us see it, you know, like they see it, and like they become inspired by it, and they become moved by it, and they also want to like have that relationship with God, you know. And so like, I don't know, I just thought it was like a cool reminder of like you don't die just to yourself, for yourself and for Christ, but you die to yourself for other people as well. And that's what I got from this chapter, and also like a lot of other things, but like this video has already been like super long. It's been like 12 minutes. It's a lot. But yeah, and then I do like sticky notes when I Bible study, so like there's a lot of other stuff, like the ashes and the symbolism of the ashes and the sackcloth, and like the historical background of why you can't have like wear like sackcloth and stuff at the king's gate, and like a lot of other stuff. But like, I just thought that was really, really, really cool. Yeah, so I wanted to share. Okay, bye. I promise my room is really messy. I have to like fold close, but ignore it. But at the end of it all of it goes to say like, even if you're having a hard time like dying to your flesh and giving up things that are like comfort, or like things that like, that you know does not glorify God, or just like hard situations where like you want to fall back into your comforts, and it seems more appealing than like living for God, or just sacrificing that comfort, you know. I definitely want to encourage you to just like think of the people around you and how that affects the people around you when you stumble, you know. And that's like a lot of weight on you. That's like a lot of weight, you know, to add on to yourself. But then it's also like an encouragement. Well, to me, it's an encouragement, but maybe like it might be encouragement to you, like that, like, oh, I can't do that anymore because like, you know, like John's depending on me, or oh, I can't do that anymore because Sammy's depending on me. Oh, I can't do that anymore because Eliezer's depending on me, you know, and so on and so forth. Like you have people depending on you to stand firm in who you are in Christ. And that's like a really, really cool thing about the body of Christ, right? Like the body cannot function without everyone working correctly, you know. So yeah, that was the whole point of this long behind video, which probably be like 3 links long, and I'm so sorry, but yeah, I really wanted to share that, and I didn't want to type it. Okay, bye.